Welcome to the Creative Coach Podcast. I'm Wade Kingsley. Thank you for joining us for yet another episode. And if it's your first time here, welcome. On the Creative Coach Podcast, I give you a short little bite-sized morsel that you can take into your week and help unlock your creative potential. Now, if you listened to last week's episode, which was all about questions that you had as listeners, you'll realize that I had been forgetting to check my messages. Well, the good news is now I'm checking my messages more regularly. I'm getting a lot more questions that I can answer on future episodes of the pod. Today, I want to cover off something called the roller coaster. Now, the roller coaster, if you picture it in your mind, is obviously something that is a bit fun and a bit scary. It's something that's often found at an amusement park, and it is something that you ride supposedly for enjoyment. I wouldn't say that I'm a huge ride person, so you won't catch me on a roller coaster anytime soon. But I am on the same roller coaster as you, and that's one we ride as creators. It's the metaphor, of course, for how sometimes things can feel amazing and sometimes things can feel awful. Now, one of the things you do when you pick a creative life, or at least trying to put creative work out into the world, is you almost sign up for a ticket to the roller coaster without having known you've bought one. You certainly know it when you're riding it, but going into it, you can often be full of optimism and full of positivity. But not everything is actually designed that way when it comes to a creative life. In fact, you'll probably feel highs than a lot of other people, and you'll feel the lows a lot than other people. So it's worth having a think about how you really feel those highs and lows, and feel whether they are something that you can cope with as you keep going through your journey as a creator. So it's not for everyone. That's an important thing to call out. I think often people think it's going to be a steady income, it's going to be a steady ride. If you're the kind of person who likes stability and consistency, then you might find it challenging to deal with the creative life. But this story from Tim Minchin, who is an Australian singer, actor, musician, he's an all-round superstar. I read this quote from him, and it really made me think about the roller coaster and how pronounced it can be. So Tim has been working on a film for DreamWorks for 4 years. It was a $90 million film. It was called Larrikins. And it had gone down the path of being made so much so that a couple of the actors, Hugh Jackman, Margot Robbie, and even Naomi Watts, had actually completed their voice work that goes with the animation. The score had already been done. Hans Zimmer, the legendary composer, had done the score. However, guess what? DreamWorks pulled the plug on it. Now, Tim had been working on it for 4 years. So imagine that being your passion and your creativity for that long. And they actually had around about $46 million put into the production already when the film was shut down. So for whatever reason that DreamWorks decided not to go ahead with the film, then what's left? You've got Tim, who has actually been spending a huge amount of his life, not just from a time perspective, but his creative heart and soul on this project. This is the quote that was really interesting to me. He said, "The funny thing is, when I had quite a difficult conversation with the people who were responsible for shutting the movie down, they were like, 'But Tim, you've been paid.' And I'm like, 'Yeah, that's 4 years of my life.' And one of the people said, 'But you've been paid very well for that 4 years.' And he said, 'I don't give a fuck.'" I'm sure he did for the money. But he said they didn't just get why I would see it as a loss of 4 years' work given I got paid. He said, "I do think maybe it taught me to really love the process, because the process is the joy. Just sitting in that room with a bunch of smart people going, what if, what if, what if this? We could, we could, we could." Over time, I had to remember that I loved the 4 years. I love the people, and I love the creativity. It is heartbreaking, but I love the creativity. And I think that's one of the things you do have to lean on as a creator, that you do have to love the process. Sometimes we do amazing pieces of creativity that no one notices. Sometimes we'll make things that don't turn out the way we thought they would turn out. Sometimes we're not happy with them, but the reverse can be true. Sometimes a little spark of something we thought would go nowhere actually goes somewhere, and it turns into something good. But regardless of the result, you have to remember the roller coaster. Sometimes it's amazing, and sometimes it's awful. And that's just how it rolls. And if you want a creative life, then the roller coaster is a very big part of that. If you'd like some more creative help to help you manage your own roller coaster, wherever you are on the journey at the moment, feel free to drop me a line, wade@thecreativecoach.com, or get in touch on the socials, and I'll help you with that project that you're looking for. I do offer coaching sessions, and I'd be more than happy to do those with you if it helps you get a project off the ground, or even in the short term, it stops you feeling so awful about what you're working on and gets you back to the awesome, amazing space. Thanks for your time today. I appreciate you listening and appreciate your comments and feedback. Get them to me. I will answer them in future episodes. But for now, stay creative.